Thoughts, a place where women in health and leadership come to reconnect to their body, their truth, and their story. I'm your host, Megan, nurse, health and wellness coach, and creator of Rhythm Wellness. This podcast is a place to explore the stories behind strong women, the stressors they've carried, the pivots they've made, the ways their bodies have spoken to them, and the somatic practices that have brought them back into rhythm again. Today, I am joined by Kerri-Lyn. Welcome. Welcome. So we are going to dive right in today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, we just had your grand reopening this weekend. Would you like to start to dive into your story with that?
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you for having me here.
Yes.
And, I've loved the fact that we've been able to connect in the ways that we have. And,
Absolutely.
This past weekend, thank you for being a part of the celebration.
Thank you for having me. I loved it. It was such a good experience. So beautiful to be a part of that special day for you. Yes, so special.
It's been a journey. 14 years. 14 years that I started the practice, and I sat on the dream for 10 years prior to opening it.
Yeah.
And this year was particularly special because we had lost our facility in Hurricane Milton.
Yeah.
And so we were 7 months without a facility.
That's heavy.
My entire team, right before when the hurricane hit, I said, okay, we're at a crossroads.
Yeah.
We have an option. We can say it's been a good run and call it a day, or we can, roll our sleeves up and see this thing through on the other side. And they all were all for it. And
they all came together.
Yeah. Yes. So we ended up in a beautiful facility that seems so aligned and just in the heart of Tampa, and the community has come. One of my staff members I had mentioned, or team members, and he's a close friend. I said, what'd you think of, the anniversary? And he's been there for many years.
Yeah.
And every year we have an anniversary party.
Okay. Yes.
And I said, what'd you think of this year? He said, I see the manifesting that you've done of calling in community, and now more than ever, it's shown up for you.
Yeah, the work that you've been doing behind the scenes that not everyone gets to see really shining through. Yeah.
And I'm pretty transparent.
Yeah, no. Yes, I love it. I love it. It's not easy. It's not easy. And to go through something where you had to kind of shut down and then coming to and having your team to support you behind you, that is something that not everyone experiences or has to go through. And not everyone is as lucky to come out on the other side of. So it's so wonderful to see how it all came together over the weekend.
Thank you.
I really, watching your team, that was a true moment for me to see you, shining in your light, because I could feel the support that you guys have. And I could also feel that there was a journey that you guys went through together. There was absolutely a journey. And I'm sure that you couldn't have gone through that without each other, right?
Yeah. I mean, some of my team members have been around for 13 years.
Yeah.
Friendships that have been around for over a decade. And now we get to work together. And what I didn't mention was I innovatively had to pivot when the hurricanes happened, because I didn't know how long we'd be without a facility.
Okay.
So we really leaned on the community that we had really set a tone with and really supported in the past, and they got to support us.
Yeah.
And so all of my staff ended up at different locations.
Okay.
So we had 7 different locations.
Wow.
In those 7 months.
That's
that
a lot.
Each practitioner was operating based on their schedule within a 2-mile radius. Yeah.
Wow.
So we went from operating under 1 roof to operating under 5 for that time frame.
Okay, that's a lot.
So
that's a lot.
The community really helped us in being able to keep a foothold in our movement and what we offer.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I'm like, community is so huge. Nothing compares to that support system. And outside of that community with just your team members, how are you guys kind of navigating that time with like stressors? I know you had each other, right? But how was it really to deal with that stress of like, we're in a bunch of different locations, we're going to make this happen, right? But what are we doing in this current moment? We have each other, leaning on each other, but what were some of those things that you guys were also utilizing?
Interesting. I've never quite articulated. We had to go back to, I'm going to go back to like the business side of it, the systems and the processes. And had to refine that.
Okay.
We went from really going down to bare essentials and understanding like all of the excess that was, that we were surrounded by, that, you know, you're in business and it's the same thing as living in a home, right? Yeah. When you're living in a home and all of a sudden you're moving and you have all of this stuff that's accumulated. It's the same kind of concept of systems and processes or physical things. And so it allowed us to come to our roots.
Okay.
That time frame really just allowed us to come to our roots and be able to move into this facility with a fresh start, with the foundation solid, more solid than ever. So
it sounds it. Absolutely. And this speaks so much on being able to like release, right, and let go of things so that you can get down to the very base layer. And now it's even becoming even something better, right? It's already been 14 years, but the next 14 years from this having to go back to that base layer is just the fruition, right? Is in the making, and it's coming. So special. So special. Now, tell us a little bit more about Klynergy.
Yeah, Klynergy, it's the synergy of Eastern and Western philosophies of medicine.
Yes.
And so my background is exercise science, strengthening and conditioning, massage therapy, applied sciences, and teaching. And so moving into the teaching space, I really recognized how much connecting to the body, it's important, whether it's for health, whether it's for pain management or performance. And understanding the body is really the foundation of it. And the Western mindset of, you know, point A to point B and trying to fix things, the intervention of things. So the mission really is using intervention as a vehicle for prevention. And we use education as the platform. So Klynergy really is just a representation of, let's meet the Western mindset where they're at and bring them into more of a Eastern approach of, this is a lifestyle.
Right. Like this is how it is every single day. It's not just one time. Like it's a practice, right? It's a practice. And I'm sure as you have got here to educate and help your clients learn this in their own ways, right? How have you experienced this in your own life?
Oh, so many chapters. So many chapters.
Whatever you'd like to share.
Well, I had started the business side of it by doing it for other practices before I had started Klynergy. And for me, I've always led with my own journey. On the entrepreneurial side or the science side. Like there's the clinical application of the work that we're doing, but then there's also the business side. And all of it exposes opportunities for you to evolve and
and to keep working and like
So it depends on what chapter we're talking about. But as an athlete, I had a background, so I was a soccer player.
Same. What position did you play?
I played it all, but my size and my speed put me at either a left or a right wing. Yes,
absolutely. I'm sure you can imagine vice versa. I was more on the defensive side, and
you don't have the size behind you.
No, I'm like my legs are a little
4 inches taller.
I'm like short, but these legs, man.
For sure.
So fun. So please dive more into that. You played soccer.
So I just had a lot of injuries from it, and rightfully so. And I always played all the sports.
Yeah.
I'm the athlete that you give me a sport and I tell people I go ham on it. I will be able to like dig into it and really find out the nuances and the not just the physicality, but the psychology behind it of the opponent, the self, and how it all intertwines.
Very similar. And when playing sports,
yeah. And so what I loved about soccer was it broke down patterns.
Yes.
And pattern recognition was really the foundation of, I think, what I fell in love with.
Yes.
I loved the sport.
Yeah.
And then the injuries came, and it's like I found myself applying that same pattern recognition into understanding the body.
Yes.
And so my sports have always translated into the same concept, just a different box. How does this relate to the sport, but also how does it relate to the body and the psychology?
Yes, this is beautiful. This is so in line with just very similar with rhythm wellness. So taking the body through an exercise or a sport as we kind of experienced it, right? But to then be able to like apply, and how is your body trying to actually move in this pattern and to slow it down, right? That's a practice where I like to tell people it doesn't have to just be yoga to be able to slow it down. We can still do those things that we love that get us going, right? Those competitive sports or non-competitive sports, right? But we slow the body down so that the mind can get into a flow with it and rhythm. So powerful. This is so exciting talking to you. Very similar. I found it with soccer, and I don't know if you played volleyball, but also volleyball for me was a huge place to be aware of even other people, right? So now proprioception, and like you are trying to think of your next move, but you have to also be thinking about where someone else is and where your body is in relation to the net, right? Like there's so many different aspects.
Understanding the moving parts. Mine was basketball.
Okay,
so I did soccer, I did basketball, and then I was also a runner.
Okay.
So I played the softball, baseball, fast pitch, slow pitch. These were adolescent sports, but I played soccer all the way up until I broke my foot in a match. And so my injuries really were what uncovered how can I help athletes in a better way. As I learned more about my body, it transformed my practice. And then that's where the teaching aspect of teaching it to others, not as my experience is everyone's experience, but understanding like the foundational of how the body works, the muscular system, the skeletal system, the nervous system, and everything of how it relates and talks to one another.
And it's like you found through your experiences, and I'm coming from much where I feel the same, right? Is you learned through those experiences where you had to kind of slow down from an injury, where other people don't necessarily make that connection yet. And so slowing it down, I feel like gives us just a different way that we can help people understand their body, right? Because not everyone else that is educating you has dealt with an injury or has been through that experience already, right? So really taking the experience as the main portion of the education. Yes, we have the foundations from the certifications and all the knowledge that in school has taught us, right? But that experience, I feel like, is what makes the work so powerful. Yeah, like that real life application.
Yeah, what's coming up for me is I remember being in school for the clinical aspect of, so I went through 2.5 years of massage school.
Okay.
And it was more than most curriculums in the country. And when I was in my externship, I was working under a physical therapist, and I was probably 19 years old, 18, 19 years old at the time. And I remember having like what I didn't know was sciatica at the time.
Okay. Yeah.
And I was thinking to myself the first time I ever felt this, is this what getting old feels like? Because I'm not going to make it.
Right. Like, this is not what I signed up for. Yeah.
And I got into, as I'm going into this externship, I'm telling them what I'm experiencing. And he just does a quick little adjustment to my ankle. And he asks me a few questions, and he helps me connect the dots to say, oh, the old ankle sprain that I never thought that I thought it healed. But when I was an athlete, I always taped my ankles up for the season and stuff. And here I am, he looked at the bottom of my shoe at the time, and my heel was like on a wedge.
Okay, yeah.
So if you're supposed to walk like this, it was like
it's like hooked up the whole time.
So of course my shoe was, contributing to my sciatic pain.
Yeah.
And so I immediately threw the shoes out, and it was like that aha moment of that self-awareness of, oh, wow, I can help people feel healthy throughout their entire life and not use age or the aging process as the norm.
As a standard of how it's supposed to be. Yeah. And allowing them to actually, what is your story supposed to look like, not what they say you're supposed to look like.
Right.
30 to 50, right? 50 to 70, 70 to 90. It's how your body should move. Thank you for sharing this. I'm so in a same place, if you will. I've had a knee and an ankle injury, and I did bodybuilding. So coming through that and not being able to really place the way I wanted in bodybuilding, I took a step back, and that's when I started to do the application, right, of I am helping coach and I'm doing this, but let's slow a bit. We don't have to keep chasing the goal so hard. Listen to your body. And that's when I'm thinking an injury from when I'm 7 hurting my knee, right? Or falling on my ankle at 14 and spraining it literally impact the way my body is moving on a day-to-day basis. The random, the random things that you experience that you think it's age, right? Have I hit that point where I didn't understand and now, I'm understanding what people are saying, but it doesn't have to be that. You just have to listen. You have to get in tune. So slowing down, right, to become in tune is so powerful, so powerful. And that's what I'm sure you kind of do with your massage sessions, right?
I'm thinking of a client that had a old ankle injury and had significant scarring in the ankle, and 12 years old it happened. And now the client's in their 40s and has never been able to get past a 90-degree squat. And just didn't load in his training for a strongman competition. And ended up doing scar tissue work in a multitude of ways. And in one session, he improved his hack squat by 90 pounds. He's like,
goosebumps on my legs. Because it's you haven't though. There is an answer. That's wonderful.
And he goes into a full deep squat now.
That's so wonderful.
Increased. He's had significant gains.
So much improvement. And it's to give that to someone is the beauty of this work, right? To be able to. And they're doing it too, right, for themselves. They showed up. They are here for a reason, right? They're doing the work too. But it's to come together with someone and be able to show them that, you're not limited and you still have so much potential. That, there's nothing that matches that feeling. And also, this is where it kind of, touches on we're always doing the work, right? And there's always going to be stressors. But even an injury like that to someone, they may not talk to it about other people, right? And it can be a lingering stressor that they're dealing with, something that's always in the back of their mind that they don't know how to manage. So to be able to give them a place and a way to explore and experience their body and to have relief from that and to now achieve something they thought they never would is such beautiful work. So beautiful.
I'm grateful. This is, like you had said, there's layers and you're always going deeper. And, just with any new breakthrough, there's an integration period. And that integration period is really where you go slow with it. And I cautioned that athlete to say, we've we've moved through a lot of scar tissue because they physically couldn't even be touched there.
Right. Yeah.
And so we moved through it. And I said, approach and this is just the integration piece, and it's different for everyone, right?
Of course. Yeah.
But the caution was, approach it like it's a new ankle. Don't go into the routine that you previously had, knowing that there's some instability there, and to slowly progress into it. And it's the same concept, whether it's the somatic side of things and or the physical side of things.
Yeah.
And the integration, really, for it to fully, like every new evolution that we reach or thresholds that we move through, it takes around 18 months to fully show up in full integration.
Yeah.
If you're applying it on a consistent basis.
Yes. I love this conversation so much. Literally just touching on a session I had with a client yesterday. So I have a legally blind client, and we had our first in-person training session. So I work with him a lot with this mind-body connection, right?
Yeah.
But to do an in-person session is so different. And I just touched on this as the point. We started with the weights that he typically uses, except I broke it down a little bit, right? So I had him show me his first set with what he's doing, but then we needed a lot of form correction and a lot of different places that need a little support, right? So we dropped the weight down. But my point is, I'm telling him, like, we can't just go back up to that weight, right? Like, we need to give the body time to, like, really learn those new patterns for you to get comfortable in your body feeling that flow and that movement, right? So it's very similar situation that just so powerful, because where I get excited that he may not even be able to see yet is that just like, this is going back to that foundation like you talked about, where we just got to take a couple of layers off and get a little deeper into the root, but the flower is going to bloom even bigger, right? The tree is going to get even bigger. It's just taking that step back and allowing the body to do what it needs to do, the mind to do what it needs to do, to come into collaboration and balance, and then move forward. So I
like to speak to the ego with that.
Yes.
And say, like, keep the ego at the door.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that clients will move through is, like, they feel like no pain, no gain. They want pressure. And it's like, okay, we're having a conversation with you, and we're having a conversation with your nervous system, and like helping them understand what their nervous system is telling them. And I usually will tell a client, and this is something that all of our staff goes through in their training processes, the body creates efficiencies based on the patterns that you give it.
Yes.
And if you give it a pattern that it is used to being in, and that pattern is now causing pain, it means that we're rewriting and coming back to the foundation in order to rewrite that pattern and do something different from here forward.
Yes, to change the narrative of what I was doing before, so you do get that different result. Yeah.
And there's so many different ways that we approach it. And one of the things I will tell, like, from a advisory standpoint, is if you have weight loaded and there is pain, then that means that you are putting that load into the pain, that joint, in an incorrect way. So until you can do most movements without weight, without pain, then the body, the joints are not moving properly. And you can get just as much of an effect without body weight. And it's just like going slow, honoring where you're at, and moving with the proper posture.
Yes, that is, again, the foundations of the body, right? Before you even begin to try to move in any different plane, right, with any exercise, are you already, is your core stabilized, right? Is your foundation prepared for the gravity to go down to the ground type of feel? That's something that a lot of people don't do, which is okay, because they're just not aware that they should be doing that, right? Like, they live their whole life where as soon as you stand up and you can walk, now someone's telling you good job and you're going to the next goal without even, like, did I step the right way though? Like, was this the right way for my bones and my joints and ligaments? And of course we're very pliable when we're kids, but if we start patterns as children that aren't corrected, then we're going to continue to keep doing those patterns and not even realize it for the rest of.
But that's the thing with the nuances, right? We have, you as a professional have the mastery behind checking and finding these nuances. And that's where setting up a program that really empowers the person coming through the program, but also understands that the power is, I'm going to help guide you into understanding yourself. Here are the things that I have done in my mastery in order to help support you so that we can create efficiencies there. And so that you can go through this life and be redirected into the path that you want. And it's really just helping to support the flow of energy of where you want it to go.
Yeah.
And as you're talking about patterns, I'm just like, yep. And I never wear heels.
No, you wear them very well, though.
I walked in and my flats go on.
No, you did perfect. And that
purely
is
aesthetic.
I used to be able to. I wish I could now, but these ankles, that's where I'm like, I need to. That's where I'd have to be every day sitting down to practice. I do practice. I will go to the gym 4 days a week, though. So I'm like, it's not every day. So those heels come out. I'm thinking about my step with my toes into the groove, into the, absolutely. I'm like, real quick, let's get it moving and stuff. No, you pull them off so well, though.
Thanks.
So what do you like to do for fitness now? I know that you said you did a lot of sports and stuff. What do you like to do now?
It's interesting. I have always been an athlete that is what many would say an extremist.
Okay.
I've been in a season of slowing down.
Okay.
I've been in a season of slowing down. My sport was Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
As of most recently.
Okay.
And I'm slowly starting to get back into that.
Yeah.
But I had a episode where I was attacked and I ended up having to use Jiu-Jitsu to save my life.
Sorry about that.
Thank you. Yeah. And it has caused, I never knew what PTS was. I knew what it was.
Yeah.
I just had never experienced anxiety and the feeling of air hunger and panic attacks. I had experienced them when I was younger, but having those things, and it was this awareness of my body and my mind are on two different wavelengths.
Yeah.
It was,
there's a disconnect.
I could move through life and I felt like I was good.
Okay.
And it's very much the way society is, right?
The disconnection.
And that's what we do with our clients is we help reconnect. And so this was kind of my deeper layer to reconnecting. And I know you asked me sports. Jiu-Jitsu is something that I have absolutely loved. And it has very much been, again, recognizing patterns on a deeper level. And then you add the stress component to it. It's human chess.
Of course. Yeah. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah.
And so I don't know if you knew this, but a lot of high executives and business owners, that's their sport of choice.
I've been finding that I'm finding this almost as of late, very recently, right? Where I'm running into a lot of people that have done it. And again, because it's meant as like a protective mechanism, right? And to be able to play chess to manipulate that body weight in a way that keeps you safe and also not trying to hurt the other opponent, though, right? That's not the intention of it at all. It's
the training aspect. No, it's, I mean, I don't even know where to begin with jiu-jitsu.
No,
for me,
whatever you'd like.
I was learning jiu-jitsu at the same time that I was working through somatic therapy and inner child work.
Okay.
And so the parallel of the two was so fascinating to work with. Because what was coming up for me and my restrictions or the emotions that were coming up when I was not, my body physically wasn't able to do the things I wanted it to do or defend itself. Those same emotions were showing up in my somatic therapy and inner child work. And when I was learning that mastery. And as I moved through it here, I softened and surrendered here and could move in different ways.
I have goosebumps. Sorry. Please keep going. I'm like, it's so powerful, though, because I know. And
it was so interesting to me. And so moving through this season is really just honoring and slowing down. And
Yes.
I so want to go deeper into the jujitsu,
No,
but
yeah,
staying
no,
like
but
on
yeah, staying on
the
course.
question of,
Yeah.
I'm getting back into jujitsu slowly
Okay.
as
Yeah.
I've moved through about a year and a half
Right.
of just recovering from the
Of
PTS.
course. Yeah, of course.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
And slow is a beautiful way to get back into something that you love, right? Like
yeah.
you do enjoy jujitsu and it's something that has served you so much. But again, this at your own pace, right? Like you're integrating and you are healing in your own way and you've done so much work, right? That it's like one foot in front of the other and as comfortable as you feel to go back into it. But again, I feel like there's a big, beautiful tree that you haven't even seen yet, right? That's going to come from it and still is becoming right now, right?
I mean, the tree's there.
Yeah, the tree is, yes.
I found a deeper peace, a more vast groundedness, and even a deeper groundedness than I ever even knew was possible. And I have learned to slow down in ways that I didn't know. I didn't know how to do.
You could. Yeah.
And I almost lost my life.
Yeah.
And it completely changed my perspective of everything.
Yeah. I can only imagine. Yeah.
And moving forward, I recognize how much not forcing something has so much power.
So much power.
And building a business, working 80 to 100 hours a week, you're pushing a lot.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Yeah, absolutely, you are.
And it's just, I reflect back on, previous anniversaries, and we started this conversation on the anniversary, and just understanding, a few months before the hurricane hit was when I was assaulted.
Yeah.
And so I called it my unbecoming season. And it truly helped me come to a much bigger, greater purpose in this existence.
Yes.
And I'm grateful for all of the experiences. And had I not had a sport like jiu-jitsu, which I had always questioned, why am I choosing jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, yeah.
It is statistically the worst bodies I have ever worked on as far as injuries go.
Yeah, yeah.
And I am the smallest person.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're like, these aren't adding up. Yeah.
So it didn't add up, but I realized that life just really led me there. And I just, again, I had the heart to listen, and that's what this path has always been about, is just listening versus forcing it.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. You really honor yourself, and that is so evident just in talking to you, right? And like showing up and being who you are. You let yourself explore as it needs to. And again, with the word honor, right? You honor where you're at in that time and flowing through it. It's so amazing talking to you. Amazing talking to you. Do you have anything else that you would like listeners to know about Klynergy or your experiences?
I mean, I feel like the team in a way that I had not previously.
I honestly could tell that it was like a good moment for you to be able to pause to give them that. I could tell that you wanted to give them that. And I also could feel how they were receptive to it, that it was like, we were witnessing a moment amongst you guys almost, if you will. Like everyone, they deserve that like credit, obviously, I'm sure, right? Out loud and to be recognized in front of people. So that was so special. But I could feel that it was like a moment. Honestly, you inspired me so much. Like I'm doing rhythm wellness right now and I'm like a solo, but like you inspired me so much that like connections, it reinforced connection for me and community. It really genuinely, I told him about this a lot because I'm like, you found your people. They're all different in their own special ways, and you guys all come together and like it serves what it needs to serve. Like it really feels like a team collaboration that you've created. Your teenager is beautiful because like I can feel what you have done, and I'm sure that that did not happen probably right in the beginning. Like this has been evolving over time. Like some of them you've been with for a while, right? But has ever you just had someone that started 3 days ago, right? So it's a little bit where there's older and newer coming in.
I honestly, like, I'm so amazed and so humbled by when people, anytime someone wants to invest and put their foot in the door in Klynergy, whether it's a client, whether it's a therapist, anyone, anybody who's willing to invest their energy into Klynergy, has been such a beautiful, divine way of just flowing. Everyone I tell people this, you know, once you're on the team, you're family, right? Whether you're here or not, like past or present, you're family. And have there been bumps in the road? Have there been things that lessons learned? And I mean, in 14 years of doing this, there are moments. And some of the challenges in the past have been like hiring from a place of burnout and straying from the foundation and my value system and what that means down the road. One of the things that I realize is, again, the time thing. And when 80 to 100 hours, I've put in 95,000 hours in this profession.
I totally. When you said 14 years, I was like, girl has put in work. I know.
24 years in the profession. 14 years in this business.
But just in this business.
And I built the business for three other practices before I built one for myself.
So grateful to know you. It's so exciting listening to your story. It's so cool.
So I'm curious, like, what you mentioned connection. So how does that integrate into moving forward with you? Because right now you're more of a solopreneur. Right?
I'm a solopreneur, but this is where I would love to have a practice. I guess how you have created Klynergy, I foresee that I haven't necessarily, I guess, looked at the whole vision because I've looked at my own personal journey, and for a long time I thought I wanted to be an NP. So I guess that's where I've kind of done this spin into here now, right? My original plan when I went to nursing school was to become a nurse practitioner. I became a nurse. I started just life, and I felt like I was already doing well as a nurse. I didn't necessarily need to go further at that point when I'm in my early 20s from my own experiences, and not necessarily like to go deep into it, right? But like a lot of my own traumas and dealing with like narcissistic situations and relationships, and so much devolving. Again, I don't want to bring this into me, that I really have started to come here into rhythm wellness as of probably like 3 or 4 years ago, from a personal attack myself. Like I've dealt with this as well. And so I know that's how heavy this is for you. Mine is just a little bit longer ago it happened, right? But to have that happen to you, and again, completely different situation. Mine was with a family member, right? So it's totally different situation. But that made me do a hard pause. And what do I really want to do? Because I was already trying to help people because I was already kind of aware of my own traumas, right? And that's where I was starting to dive into the work of myself and starting to learn as well. So like really starting to learn and make sense of it, and putting myself in connections with other like healers, right? And trying to establish a community. I was in Miami at this time when I was doing this, and I did kind of find like a circle that I was connecting with. However, I was getting different energy than I didn't feel like it was fully supported all the way around. I felt like where I really was trying to support in any way I could, right? And that was me learning people pleasing and all of that, right? That it was not necessarily a give and take the way I anticipated it to be, if that makes sense, which was so much learning in myself though also, right? Like it is not just the other, it's never just the other, it's never the other party, it's self, look at self, right? Like it has everything to do with the mirror and look back type of thing.
It sounds like it was a survival strategy. And so remember we were talking about Stephen Kessler's 5 personality patterns. That's the merging pattern that you were just describing. And so part of our worth is tied up in that. Takes one to know one. And thank you for sharing, because
Thank you for listening.
the journey of that is, you know, when I started, I tried so hard to compartmentalize life, right? This is work and this is personal. In this work, when you are working with the body, when you are working with in a service way, and when you're going deeper with people and creating transformation, whether it's physical, whether it's spiritual, whether it's emotional, it's all integrated. And so the personal journey, the personal challenges and battles, it shows up. And that's where, you know, I recognize that Klynergy for me is the entry point for a person that doesn't understand the energetics. And it's not that they don't understand, but it's the entry point. It's going to meet most people where they need support. And when clients or when people want to go deeper, that's where I've mentioned, like, I'm navigating. And it's taken me about 4 or 5 years to figure out, because I thought I had to retire this version of me of like, oh yeah, well, I've been doing this for 24 years and I don't want to be known for just that. And I recognized, no, that's your foundation. You don't, this isn't something you're going to retire. But your personal journey, sharing that. What I've learned is, and there's quite a few podcasts on it that are so fascinating about building trust with other people. How do you build trust with a stranger? A very interesting way. And I didn't realize this, that I naturally did this, but sharing your story, being vulnerable, right? It naturally, instinctually builds a bond energetically between the nervous system in order to help surrender. And I don't know, it's like, how do we support people and from that grounded place to be able to, you know, not give for I want worth, but I see you.
Like, I just see you.
And I'm here for you.
I always say, I see you. Like, like, just you can be whoever you are in this moment. And like, it doesn't take away or give or anything, like just letting someone be. Totally.
And your experience in Miami, right? It sounds to me like very much of, I mean, same, like we were talking before. My journey of that period of time where I was in survival mode, or I was in a stressed state, and that wanting to build community for different reasons. And it's kind of a grasping sensation. And that grasping sensation you'll often be met with. I don't know if that's been your experience, but that's been mine. I was often met with, no, we're going to fall short. And even, you know, at the very beginning when we first opened on Saturday, I was like, is anybody going to come? And all of a sudden, as soon as I took a breath and surrendered and really had that moment with my team, everybody started showing up afterwards. And it's like, here's your community. Here's the people that you have poured into, and they pour into you as well.
That's beautiful. And I love that. And that's what I like. That's, I think, very much how I want to create a community, right? And I want to be a part of community and a connection, like you were saying, is I love to let people show up the way that they are, if you will. There's nothing wrong with it. You're so special in every way that you are. And if you do want help or support, right, I'd love to help you, but that doesn't mean that I have to. This is where I always tread with like friendships, right, and relationships is I don't always have to be in coaching role either, right? Like, I'm just a human. I can just witness you and just let you be who you are. I don't have to have it be a coach. It's like, it's exhausting on both ends, right? They don't want to hear it. And it's like, for me, I just want to be here. Like, I want to be witnessing you and just letting you. And so I have come back to Tampa, right? And I've been in and out of Tampa. And so to have connections that are just like genuine, right? We love seeing each other win. Also here if you need me type of vibe, right? Where it is that. And I think that is something I did learn in Miami. And again, I was dealing with my own things, I think, is where a lot of it was sifted through the sand, where I'm not necessarily that saying I wasn't getting what I thought I should be getting type of vibe, but maybe I couldn't see that either, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I just couldn't see the things that I wanted to. So as I have come in, I'm just really trying to make those connections. And I do see rhythm wellness kind of expanding as a practice, right? How you've come up with a team to have different just wellness practitioners and within holistics to come together. Yeah. And then like functional medicine as well, right? Where I wanted to just be an all-encompassing Eastern meets Western. There's no right. I saw that you put, I actually looked at your profile yesterday. I saw that you said that. I've been saying this for, I'm not kidding you, a couple of years. Like they need to meet in the middle. Like we need have a need for both of them, right? And like just allowing people to explore what they want even within that, right? Like it doesn't have to be one way. It's whatever works for you. And so
that's the way, noticing patterns, right? I have always kind of viewed my journey, if we looked at it from an abstract point of view, like a macro perspective or hindsight, is we're just bridging gaps. My role in this is just bridging gaps, helping to expand perceptions and awareness, and to support understanding where a threshold is met, whether it's physical or emotional or spiritual, whatever those thresholds are, and not forcing through it or pushing through it, but why is that threshold there? How can we support it? And even from like the physical perspective, right? Because that's where I feel like most of the audience will probably end up listening, right? Is we only, if this is your operating capacity, right? Or I should say, this is your operating capacity, and this is where we actually operate, and these are your thresholds. Most people are only physically or emotionally operating in this spectrum. And so a practitioner or a coach or a guide is going to help support you in this range, and to be able to safely get you through, to touch on those thresholds, to say, okay, what's happening here? Exploring what's happening here, to be able to say, is there room for expansion? And not all thresholds are meant to be expanded on. Right.
It's individual if you want to. I love that you were saying expansion, because I'm like thinking in the same essence, like you're giving them space to explore that space, right? Like they finally just have witnessed something, and that is scary for even for me. I've been scared at certain moments in time of just like, it's there, don't necessarily want to look at it, but like, okay, maybe it's time to look at it, right? And so that's, I love how you said that. It was so nice how you said that. And to be able to give that to people, right? Because I think this is where I also love that you asked about connection. I'm kind of having like full circle moment, right? I so believe in I'll call it like a spider web effect, or a trickle effect, right? The river flows.
Butterfly effect.
But the butterfly effect, exactly. Yes, any like of those, but how you impact someone once they're like that integration, right? And they are now flowing, and that's how they're being, like they can go show someone else that too. Like that is where I believe in the connection, right? And that power never shuts off. Like it's always going to be there, is like you can just pass it to anyone, right? It could be one person, could be 100 people. I always like to tell clients, like, I want you, but if you tell 100 people and we only have this one like package time together, right? Like at least in the future, there is 100 more people that I have touched, because I did get in nursing. Like I was the person that I wanted to help. I wanted to be able to help and like care. And I just ended up going the OR world because that's what I watched on TV and stuff growing up, right? But now I've come to here with rhythm wellness, and like really like, let's connect those dots, like how we're here, right? And like connect to it, because there's a lot of experience. That's where we have Western medicine and there's the OR, and yes, there will be emergencies, but there are also a lot of other things that I've experienced. I've been in the OR for 8 years, right? That if people just knew and they don't know and no one's telling them, and it's like, we can help tell them if they want to explore that, though. That's also where it's not forced for anyone, right? It's your journey, and if you want to, but I want to be able to build connections with other women like you and just other people that, like, I am here to help, right? And I do want to be able to help people see that and to reach whatever goals they have. And to bloom like that butterfly. You see me, I'm like, I have all the butterflies. I'm like, every little journey has been like the evolution of another. Here we are again. There was another, becoming moment. But this is also where I've like grounded right too. And where I'm hearing now is you don't always have to be in a season of like, you're trying to be, you're trying to shed this and become this, right? Like that's where like there is time for that integration and grounding and just being.
That was exactly like when you were asking me about what sport I'm currently in. I recognized that life was putting me in a holding pattern.
Yeah.
And that stillness was my pattern.
Yeah.
And, when you're always in perpetual motion, you're not able to witness in stillness the depth of what's present.
Yes.
And I spent some time in the Serengeti.
Okay.
And, this was very much experiencing it from an external factor, right?
Yeah.
Of being able to just sit. And if you're in I actually followed the Great Migration in the Serengeti.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. So such a great experience, a wonderful experience. Yeah.
And I went by myself. I slept under canvas.
Like even more wonderful, honestly, to just get that whole like for you. Yeah.
Yeah, it was so beautiful.
Yeah.
And when I was there, you have a safari guide, and I was going through the safari, just the two of us. And if we kept driving, we'd see all the animals, right? And we'd see all of the things that are really nostalgic and great. And you check the rhino off the list and the lion off the list and the giraffe and the wildebeest.
Yeah.
You check them off the list. But it was in the moments of like the stillness where we sat for hours just watching nature take place.
Yeah.
It made me realize the depth of, first, how primal animals and everyone truly is, of the nature of things.
Yeah.
And the relationships of the cohesiveness or lack thereof of how things move. And how often do we sit where we're just checking the box off, the to-do list.
Yeah.
And we're not actually seeing the cohesiveness of all of the different parts of ourself that allow for us to be in the world in a more intentional way.
I'm grinning from ear to ear because I'm just like, your words are just like, yes, very much resonate. Yeah. That stillness, you just used your words so well to describe it is why I'm like just grinning over here because I'm like, that was, yes. I'm like, it really is. And you don't get many experiences like that. Also why I'm like, it was so powerful that you did go by yourself kind of, right? Because you did get to have that moment where, yes, you have the guy, but not necessarily someone know, right? So to be in that moment, especially just being there by yourself, there's a whole reason you're there experiencing this, right? And then to start just presence, right? Just what is going on. And then you start to like, okay, and I'm aware of like, this is, and didn't just see a rhino, like what is the rhino doing, right? Like what is going on in its habitat? Like you're kind of going into those deeper, right? Where it's a deeper layer and a deeper way of viewing things. And that's so unmatched because that's where I feel like you can always find deeper exploration in yourself, right? Like you're talking about just how primal we are and how we are as humans too, right? Like you just, the way we do things, there is a way where it can feel a little more clear and a little more peace and poised, right? But we get so caught up. We get so caught up in the checkbox, and did we do this, and did we do this, and that speaks huge onto our egos too, right? And like sometimes we let that ride, and we're never being just like in our present moments, letting that soul shine. That is the work I think that we will forever do too, right? Like, because you go in and out of it. Now we're business owners and we're back here, right? And you're trying to make things happen. And then it's like, there is still places and times over that. Do you find that you get that from your like breathing circles? Do you find like, you know, you're in business world and you're doing Klynergy and like, yes, but you're also being like boss, right? Like you're doing things and you're making it happen. Do you feel like there is like good cohesion between the two? Or do you feel like sometimes it's hard to like go between like business mode and being more like just grounded and present, if you will?
It's been a challenge in the past, and I think it's a great question because I always look at my stages of peeling back those layers, and that stillness that I when I was going through recovering and healing from the attack, I physically, I've always been someone that I've got it. I don't need to rely on anybody else. I can do it. My nervous system is like, no, you don't.
You can't.
And you actually need people right now. And your support system is what's got you. And I, in ways that I don't even know how to necessarily describe, but I was not in a good place. I was in a dark place. And I'm a very optimistic person. I'm a very, I mean, I can paint a picture for you. And anybody who has, who knows the dark season, who knows when they're suffering from mental health stuff, or when they almost lost their life and the stuff that comes up from it, right? Being able to, I use this analogy of life comes at you in the form of a feather, a brick, or a Mack truck.
That's a good way to put that, because accurate.
Right?
Accurate.
And so often do we go through life trying to steer our own ship, and the ego thinks that we've got this under control. And the more that you think you've got everything in life and all of its nuances under control, life has a tendency to give you a warning sign. That's the feather. Maybe not the feather, it's a whisper.
But
The warning sign is the brick. The Mack truck is like, I've given you warnings.
You're not listening.
We're going to stop you in your tracks. And so much of life, and I'm spiritual in that sense of, I feel like this existence is, and this might be beyond the audience of for some, but, or the belief system, but I believe that life was sending me a sign to slow down. And my body physically was going into a state of, every single time I would try to do or be or achieve, swollen glands, adrenal fatigue. I couldn't get out of bed. I would get sick. All of these things that my body just kept speaking, but my ego and my determination was pushing me ahead. And so life stared me in this stillness. And it was there that I really honored it in a way that I was able to see, oh, this is what this means.
Like, right.
This holding pattern.
Like, you've heard it. I always like to say, like, you've heard it a million times, but it's a million and one time that all of a sudden it's like you just flip the switch on. Like, yes, you understood it, but now it's just giving a completely different understanding than it ever had for you before. And it's like the click moment, right?
Have you ever heard someone say, just let go? It's like, okay, I'm letting go. What am I letting go of?
Right. What am I letting?
Or surrender. Okay, I'm surrendering. And I don't think you truly know it until you're on the other side of it,
I
of
would
what
wholly agree with
surrender
that.
or letting go means in
Yeah.
many ways.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I did have a period like around this, where I remember telling just my close friend, I'm like, just ready to let it all go.
Yeah.
Without understanding necessarily the context of what, yes, I understood what I meant. I was ready for a change. I was ready for a new chapter. I was sick of just the way things were going out, and I was starting to soon realize that my behavior, again, like the one person, and I'm the common denominator, right? And then I really did let everything go, and then things really did started to let themselves go, if you will.
Oh, yeah.
And so that was a big dose of like, you know, you asked for this, now you're actually bearing witness to what you're asking for, right? And so then there was no choice but to hold on. Like, we're going on this ride, we're going on this journey, and I was very determined that I had to do the letting go, like you're talking about. I had to surrender, no matter how much I wanted to. I'm saying hold on and not hold on at the same time, right? But hold on for this journey and stop holding on to everything else, if you will, almost like an inverse of it. Yeah.
Let what needs to fall away, fall away.
Yeah, honestly, that's how I kind of fell out of bodybuilding. That situation happened that I told you before. And then like probably 6 weeks later, I am just crushing myself in the gym, going so hard, being so nasty to myself in the mirror. And I look at myself like a click, and I'm like, what am I doing to myself? What am I doing, right? And that's when I had to pause. Yeah. And then the deeper I pause, this is where I even took 6 weeks off from nursing, because like you said, with my nervous system, I was like, we're at the point where like I have tried to keep trucking along, and I am getting now where there is no more. I cannot keep trucking along here. Like, I need to pause. I need to stop, because I mean all so well and everything, and I'm getting to a point where I feel like I'm losing control of keeping it together, right? I want to be so in control that I need to surrender. I'm not in control at all, almost, type of feel, and am at the same time, if you will. But yeah.
I'm finding that's for a lot of people. I feel like it's a collective thing that's I'm just hearing from so many these days. Yeah. And that's where I think, going back to our conversation about community, is seeing, honoring, witnessing. I think if I had this one desire, right, to want more of in the world, is witnessing someone, allowing people to be witnessed more, and to not take it on as a self-reflection or a projection, but just being able to witness and hold space for someone, to allow for all of a being in all of its sovereignty and authenticity to just express what's on their heart, and just let it be.
You have such a good heart. You just said that, and I'm like, I could literally cry listening to you say this, because very much resonate. Very.
I think about it, and I think about like where that could go, right?
Yeah.
It could go so many different ways.
It could go so many different ways, but I know, but it's like, I think that's the thing though too, is like, we don't even allow ourselves to just be. So it's very hard to let others just be them, right? Without, it's a control, but it starts with self. Exactly. It's about that control. And I feel like this is where you can kind of go down a rabbit hole, right? But like, are you in control? Are you not? But at the end of the day, are we in control? But you can control certain things, right? Like, we are going to control our breath. Yes, our brain is doing it automatically, type of feel, right? But we can start to regulate and have a little bit of control, if you will, in that. But it's letting the control go, and like just letting someone be who they are, and not feeling like you need to change it, or that you could make it better, or it's going to be worse if it doesn't go this way. Honoring people and who they actually are, that they don't have to show up as someone, someone else. They can just be who they are. We don't do that enough, I feel like, nearly just in how we are today, right? Like, you see, I'm sure you see this every day. I can just think of like certain situations where, I don't know, just again, reading situations and reading people, right? And like, you could tell someone wants to show up sometimes fully, but then you see the interaction between two people, right? And you can tell where maybe their light just dimmed a little instead of raised back up. And it's like the witnessing is where you can tell it's the witnessing, right? Like, It's that fear of being perceived and seen if you were to be authentically like you. But if we had more of that, like, how good would this world be? Like, not to be, go there, but I really do feel like there's just so much good that we could be giving out there, and like such a difference, right? Like, just such a difference in how everyone is too, like just how people are and the way they interact with other people, and like there's a spot for everyone. There's a spot for everyone.
I feel like I'm in a bit of a bubble in a lot of ways because I have very much cultivated, called in, and just, they say you are the company you keep.
Yeah.
And I realized the people I want in my life and my circle. And when I see that, it just like you witnessed at the anniversary, it was just my people in all different walks of life.
Yeah.
But they all have that genuine sovereign authenticity, and that they know. The thing is it starts with self. So with the inner child work, we do mother learning, and the mother learning aspect of things, and I am getting into like the actual process of it, but it's understanding self.
Yes.
And going deeper. We start with self-regulation, right? And the self-regulation is, how do you soothe? Well, you need to know how stress responds in your body first before you can figure out how to soothe. And then there's ways in which you can support the vagus nerve and downregulate the nervous system, and you can do breath and tapping and eye gazing in specific ways. And so and I actually do tuning forks and use sound to support the nervous system. And when you're doing all of those things and you can self-regulate, then you can start to look at yourself deeper. Because when you look at yourself deeper and you can actually understand what your triggers are, your limiting beliefs, or the things that, and to context, I know you probably know this with your somatic work, but limiting beliefs are, I'm not worthy, or I don't feel loved, or I'm going to be alone. Those deeper things, right?
Like,
I have a fear of being left. Those deeper things can really shape how we respond and react in certain ways.
100%.
And it's not in the forefront of it. It's back here playing this storyline that never got fully played out. So it's stuck on this loop.
It's like a loop. Yep. Yeah.
And so the inner child work and somatic therapy is what helps to rewrite that loop. So how do you know yourself? How can you come home to yourself and authentically write your own script and get this off of the loop cycle? So essentially this is a representation of your nervous system, and you're reparenting your nervous system.
Yeah. No, that's beautiful that you share that. I definitely am. You've done this work, right? And so that is where a very same, and I know you said this before, and I would love to hear your take more on this, because I think that in building community too, I was coming to a place where I didn't necessarily want to trauma bond with people as my only bond, if that makes sense. Like I wanted it to come from like a flourishing place, right? Like not necessarily. But I also have learned in that maybe that is the place in letting go that needs work, right? Is because if there's a fear of trauma bonding, it's because eventually you're going to both work through that, right? As a relationship should work with someone else, and you evolve, and then it's the letting go of that relationship if it's no longer because it was just based on a bond of trauma. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. So one of the things that I moved through when I was moving through my PTS was I was having these nightmares, and every single night I was being attacked, and I was being attacked in a different way. And I really dive deep into things.
No, same.
So
please.
I said, okay, what's the common theme here?
Yeah.
And I realized, oh, you're being attacked every single night in different ways. Great. What else is the same?
Yeah.
And I realized I kept waking up at the same time, and I kept waking up waiting for someone to save me.
Yeah.
And I realized I was casting myself in the role of the victim.
Mm-hmm.
And when I realized, wait, no one's going to come save me. No one ever has come save me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not the victim.
Yeah.
I save myself. I'm the victor.
Yeah.
And when I started to realize that in my life, right?
Yeah.
When I started to shift that mindset and I became the victim, yes, I was a victim. I was assaulted and I played that role and I retired that role.
Yeah.
So when when I transition that, right? And I said, where am I casting myself in the role of the victim?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I then transitioned and I went from victim to victor and I got to say, yes, I was assaulted and I owned that.
Yeah.
And I'm no longer playing that role.
Yeah.
And so that immediately, my panic attacks stopped.
They stopped. Yeah.
As soon as I had that realization, they stopped.
Yeah.
So I say this to the trauma bonding comment or conversation.
Yeah.
I asked myself, when I share my story, why am I sharing it?
Yeah.
What am I hoping for? What do I have desires on the table?
Right. Yeah.
Do I want to be seen? Do I want to feel heard?
Yeah.
And when I started to shift that perspective, and even with any time we're sharing our story, what's the intention behind it? Why are we doing it?
Yes. Yes.
And, you know, I knew what my why was. And so I can share it without having this, because I'm sharing it from my cup. I'm grateful to be where I'm at and it's full. And so was I sharing it from a place of being emotionally charged? Yes. There was processing that still needed to happen in layers. And I imagine there may be other conversations and interactions that may come up.
Right. Yeah.
And it's honoring that and also recognizing, asking yourself of, why am I acting this way?
Yeah.
What's coming up for me?
Right. Like, where is this stemming from?
And not from a judgment standpoint,
just
but more
observing
of a,
being witness to it. Absolutely.
So building community really meant a lot to me in the sense of what are genuine, genuine desires to really want to celebrate other people. And that's just my journey. But I'm realizing, like, when I had, I realized how many people their story wasn't being heard. And that when I shared my story, and I'm just using this as an example, I had a woman come up to me and she said, I've sat on my story for 30 years. And it wasn't until you shared your story that I felt that I could share mine. Yeah. And it's not to say that I gave her permission or that anything shifted, but in that moment, she was able to find her power to free herself from. And that's part of my why is I'm not doing it to bond. I don't know how this is going to land for anybody.
Right.
And I look at my life experience as this life has happened for me, not to me. And to share it with the world, because whether it's education, whether it's my treatment, or whether it's my story.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
It's not mine to hold.
Right. Yeah. You're letting other people just bear witness to that. And then, no, that's beautiful. I love how you said that. Very, again, same, but different. Like, this is where also, it wasn't necessarily that we were trauma bonding, but I got to a place where I felt like I was almost sharing that when I would meet people, as almost it was, an excuse for where I was at in my healing journey, if that makes sense. And now you're right. I've come on the other side of this. And so I try not to make it the thing that I lead with that has given me the experience, if that makes sense. Because that is where a lot of my experience has come from, is finding myself on the other side of that. And I just, again, now you're saying this and it's a whole new light for us, and like just cultivating this relationship and meeting you and knowing you and all of that is, we're meant to be here. And I do believe that like your journey was always meant to come here, right? Like we were meant to be in this room together, 'cause same. To do that child work also that you were talking about, it's not easy. I actually did some of this work as well when I lived down there. And your mother wound, right? Mine was a father wound, and it very dive deep, right? And so even to come out on the other side, I feel like it allows you to honor yourself more, because you also get to look at those people. And something I've talked about before, right, is that they're just humans too, and this is their experience, right? And so that is where we get to do more of the surrendering and just that self work, and it's all for self at the end of the day type of not in a selfish way, right? But like the work is for you, because we can't control other people, and we can't control the work that they do. And so that I feel like helps is healing in its own way as well. Is just like, like there's nothing.
We like to say they did the best they could with what they had. And you mentioned like the mother wound, the father wound, and in our child work we actually look at mother as self and father as other. And so it's like working into the psyche of supporting both sides, and you can't speak to others in the world until we work with self first. And so what we learned from mother figure and father figure, and it doesn't mean that it has to be like a conventional upbringing, because I mean I work with many orphans, like adults that were orphaned, or broken homes, or multiple parental figures, and it's understanding that feminine energy, that masculine energy, and it's really powerful, and it goes deep into it is deep, and I realize the somatic work energetically shifts in a lot of different ways, in ways that it's taken some time to like cultivate as a practitioner to be able to hold space for.
Of course. And I didn't know you back then, right? But like I can just tell that you have had an evolution, and it is so, again, just beautiful is the word that I come to. Yes, you're beautiful physically, right? But your story is so beautiful that like listening to you and how you've just had this whole whirlwind of an experience, right? And you really honor yourself, and that is so evident just in talking to you, right? And like showing up and being who you are. You let yourself explore as it needs to. And again, with the word honor, right? You honor where you're at in that time and flowing through it. It's so amazing talking to you. Amazing talking to you. Do you have anything else that you would like listeners to know about Klynergy or your experiences?
I mean, I feel like this is just scratching the surface of our conversations. I am about to begin traveling and offering workshops and retreats coming up in the new year.
So, beautiful. What are some of them? Please share.
Still finalizing the details, but there's a women's retreat we're doing. We're also going to be doing a vocal activation retreat. So
amazing.
Helping women find their voice. And then I also have some inner child and somatic therapy online offerings that I'm going to be doing as well. Working with people that have limiting beliefs. And then Klynergy, I'm going to be coming back home to and really supporting my team with their efforts in just evolving as therapists
Yeah.
and passing this on to others. So Klynergy has always been, I call it my 14-year-old teenager.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
Yes, your babe.
But yeah, and then, opportunities like this to really share the story and to collaborate more and be able to dig in and give beautiful information for everybody.
Yes.
And hopefully this was a valuable conversation that lands for someone and gives them some supportive tools.
Thank you so much for that. I definitely think this was a very, very wonderful conversation. Where can listeners find you at?
Oh, let's see. Instagram is probably the best approach. And it's my name.
Okay.
Kerri-Lyn _Francis.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably the best one right now. Website is still in the works.
Yeah, that's okay. That's perfect. We'll put a little tag on there.
Yeah, I've been predominantly under the Klynergy name for so long, but as the offerings and the season of life that's changed, it's created a vast expansion. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you for listening.
Yes. Thank you for connecting and listening with us. If you know a health worker or leader that would love to listen to the struggles and stresses and the ways that we have overcome, please send them this way. Thank you for listening to Connecting the Thoughts. Yeah. Cool.